Hey guys, Mr. Hussey here, 8th grade math. Today is this is gonna be for Tuesday's lesson. Monday's just a catch-up day, so if you guys need to catch up on anything, especially if you're missing some assignments, some of you guys are missing some assignments, be a perfect day for that. Tuesday's gonna be a pretty simple day. It's just gonna be going over our quiz mistakes. Okay, now I'm gonna grade your quizzes over the weekend, and then your quiz mistakes, you're gonna fix them on Tuesday. So I'm gonna go over, we already went over 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. We went over all the odds as part of your lesson for the quiz, where you got half the quiz questions done by me. And so your job was to do the evens. So today we're gonna go over the evens, and your job is to, on separate paper, correct every problem you got wrong, and then show me why you got it wrong. Like write in, say, red pen or purple pen or green pen. I did this wrong, Mr. Hussey, or I messed up here, or I should have done this, something to that effect. Okay, so let's go ahead, take a look at these. Start us off with a verse. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. So if you feel weak today, you're in a good spot because he's the one who provides the power. We don't provide the power. No matter even the strongest, most competent person in the world is not powerful enough. They can't do it on their own. So if you ever feel weak, this verse may help you. Ephesians 6:10, finally be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Find the slope of the line that passes through the given points. So this is x1 and y1. This is x2 and y2. We have a formula. All right, we got a formula for slope that says y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. So it's going to be, in this case, -6 is y2 minus 2 over, let's see, x2, -1 minus x1 is -5. Okay, now I'm going to rip on you guys for a minute here. Some of you guys are so careless and sloppy that you aren't careful here. And for y2, you might put something like -6. You might get that one right, but then down here, when you put in x2, you might put -1 minus 5 because you're not careful, because it's x2 minus whatever x1 is, so -5. So one little sloppy portion can throw off the whole problem. So be careful, okay? I'm kind of half joking, half ripping on you, but to prove a point, to just be careful, okay? So here we go. So this will be, I'm chuckling at myself because I probably got this. I'm probably going to get this one wrong for ripping on you. That's why I'm scrambling here for my answer key just to double check. All right, but on the top here, I'm getting nervous that I'm actually going to get this wrong. So now it's -8 on the top, and on the bottom we have -1 plus 5. So that would be +4, okay? And -8 divided by 4 is -2. So our slope for number 2 is a slope of -2. Okay. I'll just let you guys correct me if I got that wrong. All right, number 4. Same thing. We got x1, y1, and then x2, y2. Remember, you always have to go x comma y, right? So when we're plugging these into our slope formula, is going to be -7 minus y1, which is -4, over x squared, which is -11, minus x1, which is -2. So I have -7 plus 4, which is -3. Then I have -11 plus 2, which is -9. So that answer, when we reduce it, it's going to be 1/3. Okay, because 3/9 goes to -1, right, over -3 if you divide both by 3. And then you can just divide them both by -1 to get the positive form of that. All right, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So your slope for number 4 is 1/3. All right, if you put on your quiz, if you put like -1 over -3, you'll probably get almost all credit. I might even give you all credit for that, but just make sure you still correct it here, okay? If you simplified this to 3, you were just getting mixed up. It's not 9 divided by 3, it's 3 divided by 9. Okay, let's look at number 6. On these, you can make any one of these you want x1, and any one you want x2. So I usually think the first one x1, then x2. But whichever one you make x1, then the corresponding y has to be y1. All right, and then this one's y2. So when we do our formula, y2 would be -2 minus y. I'm just using the formula from up here. Y1 will be a -2 over x2, which is -2, minus x1, which is -9. So on the top, we're going to get -2 plus 2, or 0. On the bottom, we're going to get -2 plus 9, which is 7. And 0 out of 7 is just a slope of 0. All right, a slope of 0. So your answer for number 6 is a slope of 0. Zeros are like the horizontal lines, right? The undefined slope, if it's like, say your answer was like 7 over 0, then that's undefined, and that's like your vertical line, right? All right, let's look at number 8. Find the rate of change from 1 hour and 30 minutes to 3 hours. Okay, so 1 hour, 30 minutes, oh, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, or on this lesson. 1 hour, 30 minutes is right here. 1.5 hours is right there. 3 hours is right here. Okay. So for time, we're talking about the difference between 3 hours and 1 hour and 30 minutes will be 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. So in terms of time, we're talking about 90 minutes. Okay. Or you could say, if you want, 1.5 hours. Okay. Now, in terms of the change in altitude, well, right here we're at 36,000 feet. And here we're still at 36,000 feet. So there's no difference in altitude. So the altitude is 0. So the rate of change would be 0 feet per minute. I like to do the per minute. So 0 feet per minute or 0 feet per hour. Okay, number 10. Shout out here to Zohara. She asked a great question on this one in terms of the time. At 6 a.m., the temperature is 58 degrees. At 2 p.m., the temperature is 76 degrees. Find the rate of change in degrees per hour. Okay, so how many hours was this? Well, we have to think a little bit outside the box. For hours, like her question dealt with like y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1, and she actually she kind of figured that you had to think of this as like an 8-hour difference. Okay, so from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. is like 6 hours till noon, and then 2 more hours. So there was an 8-hour time span. Okay, and in that 8-hour time span, we changed our temperature by, well, what's like 76 minus 58? We had an 18-degree change in temp. Okay, now let's think about it. The temperature started at 6 a.m. The temperature started at 58. So over the 8 hours, it looks like our temperature went up. Okay, which in most days it goes up by 2 p.m. So it was an 18-degree positive change in temp over an 8-hour time span. So that would be the same as like 9 over 4. Or this might be a good one to use your calculator because they want to know degrees per hour. So if we took 18, I don't even have my calculator Yes, I do. So I'm just going to take that 18. That's a degree sign right there, so don't get confused by that. So I'm going to type in 18 divided by 8, or I could have typed in 9 divided by 4. And either way, you're going to get 2.25 degrees per hour. Okay. Or you could have said 2 1/4. If you said 2 1/4, if you said 2 1/4 degrees per hour, you're also correct. Okay, 2 1/4 degrees, that's a degree sign. You're also correct. All right, on the back, number 12. All right, find the slope and y-intercept. I'm going to try to do these quickly. Okay, y-intercept is plus blah, 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 plus 3. Right? This one's minus 7. This one we had to rearrange. We talked about that yesterday. So it has to be in the form y equals mx plus b. So that m had to go up in the front, the negative 5x, and this 4 had to go back here to fill this form, y equals mx plus b. So our b is plus 4. Okay. Our slope here would be the negative 5. Right? Our slope here is 3. Because y equals mx plus b, right? So this is our m, and then our slope here is this, so negative 1/4. Okay. So on this one, number 12, I'm going to make sure the line crosses at plus 3. On this one, I'm going to make sure the line crosses at negative 7. And on this one, I'm going to make sure the line crosses at plus 4. If I'm going too fast, you may have to pause it, especially to look at this one, number 16. If you're confused why I flip these around, you may have to look at that or look at the lesson from last week. Okay. Now, over here, once I have my original dot, which comes from the second part of this, right? Now I have to know what m means. M means rise over run. Okay. I like to put my negative sign up with that top number. That helps me. You could put it with the bottom, but then that's going to get tricky. You can't put it with both. So every time I run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I rise negative 1. So I drop 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, drop 1. Okay. And there's my line. You probably want to go the opposite direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This way you would rise 1. Because you're going the opposite direction or backwards. So there's number 12. Number 14 is a slope of 3. So that's for rise over run. How do we do that? Well, the run is always 1, right? That's the easiest way to think of it. So if the run is 1, then we make the rise 3. Now, if we just decide to make our run 2, right, then the rise would have to be 6, because 6 over 2 is 3, right? So I run 1, I rise 1, 2, 3. I run 1, I rise 1, 2, 3. I run 1, I rise 1, 2, 3. And I keep going in that ratio, okay? Now, obviously, in this case, because it's a positive slope, or if you walk this way, like you're walking the direct left to right, you're going to go uphill. On this one, since it's a negative slope, if you're walking this way, it's going to go negative. So that's a great way just to generalize. Sometimes you can knock off A, B, C, D choices just by looking at that on a test. Okay, if you're ever taking like a standardized test or next year or something like that. Or even this year with an open book test. All right, down here we have our slope is negative 5. So remember, slope means rise over run. I always make my run 1 because I run once this way. So my rise will be negative 5. So if I go over 1, I have to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go over 1, I'm dropping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go over 1 this way, I'd have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So there'd be 1 like just off the chart here. Okay. And then our line will look like that. All right. Last one. Oh, if you need to pause that and look at that, you can. Last one, number 18. Choose the equation that best fits the line shown on the graph. Okay, well, I can see this thing right here crosses at -2, right? Crosses at -2 right there. So right now I can cross off A and B. Okay. Now, if I walk this way from left to right, I'm going uphill, right? So we know that's a positive slope. So I can cross off D because that's not a positive slope. So I know my answer C just based on those things. Now, if you want to kind of show your work there, you can say, okay, every time I run 1, I rise 2. I run 1, I rise 2. I run 1, I rise 2. So your rise over your run is 2 over 1, not -2. Sorry, let me zoom out here. Not -2, but 2 over 1. That's why it has to be answer C, 2 over 1. Because -2 would be every time you ran 1, you would have to drop 2. So a -2 would go this way, the same slant, but it would go that way. All right? All right, guys, hope that was helpful. Tuesday's lesson, pretty simple. If you only got 2 questions wrong, then you're only correcting 2 questions. If you got a whole bunch wrong, then you're correcting a whole bunch. That's Tuesday's lesson. Monday is catch up. Tuesday is your quiz corrections. Thanks, guys, for your time. God bless you.